Hello! We are here with the Game Boy game. You only get 3 selections in this one. For, like, you get a selection for your double, your missiles, and your lasers. Which, I mean, is basically the thing. I had to fix my screen there because it's kind of out of place. And this one starts off with little cutscenes. Also, stop that. I need to pop up. Oh wait. There we go. This one starts off with a little cutscene. And also a chase sequence. This is already exciting. You got like this huge chase sequence here. And it's like, oh no! And then we go into a cave where it's raining rocks. As we crash into things. I don't think the rocks from the ceiling hurt you, which I was super worried about this whole time, but I don't think they do. And then the stage begins for real. There's that one time where the orange enemies don't drop anything because there are no orange enemies. There is no orange, so that's kind of a problem. So in a stupid sense, this one kind of has it to where random enemies will drop power-ups. It could be like the same type of enemy you're dealing with normally. Like, these ground dudes all sometimes have power-ups. This snake, I don't know how you're supposed to kill him. He kind of never gets himself into a position where he can. He's kind of... Look at these ruins. These ruins are really cool looking. You never really see, like, stuff like this in, like, a typical Gradius game. Like, maybe you do in some of them. Again, I've only played Gradius. I've only played, like, a small handful of Gradius. I played the Gradius collection for the PSP, which was Gradius 1, 2, 3, and 4. For some reason you have to like double up your missiles on this one. You get 2 level ups for your missiles. These are also my favorite kind of missiles, where they go both up and down, and also do the thing where they crawl across the top. I don't know how often I get to have these missiles where they do both the crawling on the top and bottom, and also be good missiles. So, anyway, this game. It's really cool. Now we have 2 options. 2 options is all you get because it's a Game Boy game. Why are you doing that? You know, I'm moving my mouse completely off the thing because I don't know what's causing that. I don't want to do that. That's annoying. It's distracting. Anyway, if you were here for the last one, these are post-commentary because my son's usually watching me play these things and saying weird things. It's very distracting. Also, he might be watching his phone for YouTube and stuff like that, so obviously don't want that to be caught in the video. So when I record these, I don't have the microphone on for those reasons. So I just do these in post commentary, which I think is fine. It's fun. I get to kind of talk about what I want. Make whatever kind of like just random conversation topics I want. Last time we were doing this, I started talking about how I would love a Gradius game with like a shop feature and like a whole bunch of mission stuff. If nobody makes, if they never make that, I will make that myself at some point whenever I learn how to make a thing. Cool thing about this game, infinite continues. Or the continues are so much I never notice how many you have. Also, I just lost a ship right immediately, but that's okay. Also, here's a thought I had when I was first playing this game. Last time I played this game, right before this run, I was showing it to my son, and I got to level 2, and that's where I lost my first continue. So I thought it always sends you to the back to the beginning of the stage, which is probably still true, but the beginning of this stage is actually a little bit, apparently, before, like, after the actual start of the actual stage. Like, there's enemies and stuff that was at the very beginning that you actually just straight up skip over this way. Which is kind of weird in the grand scheme of things. mostly just weird because like that. I think I messed up there. I think I won my laser, but I got options instead. But I was like, you know what? Options is fine. That means that I have 4 missiles going out at one time. But the one thing that's a great thing about that. I want to get that, but that bullet was going right there for it. I was like, nope, never mind. I'll live without that power up for now. Now I have lasers. Now I have 2 lasers. And 4 missiles. So it's all good. Really good stuff there. Just great stuff all around. Beautiful. I'll get my force field now. Gives me a little shield right there. So basically, long story short, is that with this game, I'll explain more about this game later. Yeah, I would love to have it to where you had like a shopping mechanic where you just bought like upgrades to your ship. You had a health bar that basically acted as like your lives, because once you lose the health bar, you just start the whole stage over. Like you get kicked out, you just have to start the whole stage over again. This stage is kind of long, and I almost think that this might be almost this quote-unquote stage 2. I guess it's hard to actually tell what counts as a stage in this game. But, like, this particular stage kind of lasts a while. I count the next bit after this as stage 2, but like this also could be stage 2 as well. And the only reason I would count the next bit is because there's not like a boss between here and there, but again, I don't know. Between the first part and this part. But regardless, yeah, we're in Mushroom Town now apparently. Like the game has like a lot of really cool graphics, and even for like a Game Boy game, you can tell exactly where you're at, you can tell exactly what's going on. Got a lot of environmental storytelling, like we just flew through some ruins, and now we're like in some type of weird evil alien growth that came and infested the planet. Really cool. I absolutely love this. This game's got some great storytelling. And here's our first boss. This guy. Gotta shoot him in the stomach. And I ran out of shield, but I had enough energy to get my shields back immediately. Alright, destroyed his thing. And he wasn't a head at all, he was actually a weird mouth monster. And his shots bounce, which are kind of scary after a little bit. Like in the grand scheme of things, it's actually kind of scary and worrisome. Also, if you get on his level, he will charge at you, which is also scary and worrisome. But he explodes like anybody else, so he's fine. Anyway, yeah. I would love to play a Gradius, like a ship mechanic, or like a shop mechanic. And you just like get sent back to the start of the stage. It's like, each stage can be this long, but like, you can have anywhere from like 3 hits to 9. And again, it worked just like the, like lives from like Life Force, where you die and you just kind of like fly back in. Like, except instead of that, it'd just be like you take damage, flash for a bit, maybe get past a couple obstacles, and then, oh hey, it's the big ship from the beginning of the game. We just got trapped and teleported inside. Also, we lost all of our power-ups. So, right here, I thought the game was going to constantly do this. Make you lose all of your powers between stages, because that would have been kind of cool. And every stage would have been designed with, like, no power-ups in mind. Also, this level has a bop of a song. Like this every time I've played this, it like gives me like huge vibes of like the other Konami. The fact that Konami has like so many good games on the Game Boy of all systems. Like the classic Game Boy had like a lot of great Konami hits. And also here's all your power-ups. Also notice here's all the power-up tokens that you need. Option. For some reason, only one of those pods dropped the thing. I think more were supposed to, but they didn't. I kind of wish another one did, so I could have that. But anyway, so I thought every level was going to knock you down to no power-ups, indicating a definite split between levels. And again, that would have basically become this thing of like, okay, well, every stage you start off a blank slate, and you go and become powerful. You go slowly build up your power, and then when you game over, you go back to that blank state status, and it's basically like you have to play through every level in that state. It's like you start off no power-ups, and then you basically start the level over as if you just started the level over. I thought that would have been great. If the whole game was like that, I think that would have been actually kind of cool for how this particular game is set up. This boss gave me a little bit of trouble when I was first playing this game, but now that I actually have power-ups. Sometimes I was coming to this boss without power-ups. He drags you in. It's kind of hard to tell, but he is dragging you in during this part. Like, the main thing in the middle is like a thing that causes you to move forward or backwards. I think mostly forward. But yeah. With full power, he's not that bad. And we destroyed the ship that gave us all that trouble. And now we approach an asteroid, but like the rocks around a planet. So we're heading for that planet in the background there. I would love to actually know what the story of Gradius is. You can make assumptions and probably read the instruction manuals and stuff for that, but like they really never tell you what the story to Gradius is. And so if they ever did like a remake, like they did with the Contra game, I would love to know what the heck the story to Gradius ever was. Kind of like with that particular remake. It's like now you get to actually know what the story to Contra is. None of the Contra games for like the longest time never really told you what the story was in gameplay. This one actually does a good job of actually trying to tell a story, which is why I like this one a lot. And basically, as far as like a lot of these things go, this one's kind of a great one. But like as far as like the Konami bangers on the thing, I've played most of the Konami bangers for this channel already. The Game Boy Turtle games, great. The Game Boy Castlevania games, like the first one for both of those, meh. But like Turtles 2, great for the Game Boy. Absolutely fantastic. Castlevania 2 for the Game Boy. Absolutely fantastic. To be fair, I guess like Castlevania 3 and Turtles 3 was also just kind of very mid. Also here, I have this moment that feels like the boss rush setup. What do you think? Are we doing a boss rush? Cause that'd be cool. I'd be down for boss rush. Those things are just like a holdover from the first game. But technically, that's one game we're going to skip in this equation. I'm not doing the first game again. I have no reason to. The only reason I would have it to play it is to show my son. But Let's be real. Even if I didn't show it to him, it's fine. I mean, one, he could play it on Nintendo Switch Online whenever my parents decide to get him a Switch. Alright, it's destroyed. This one's kind of cool because it had like the volcano aspect to it. Oh, it's getting burned up in the atmosphere! I say that because we're going through the atmosphere now. Because look, there's clouds. We're now literally on the planet that was in the background. So when we destroyed that boss, it burned up in the atmosphere because we destroyed its core so it couldn't power up its shields to land safely. Ah, that's great storytelling. Like, now having a chance to see it again. Also, it's a good thing all these alien ships are just basically like either a purely invasive species of alien or purely robots. One of the two. Not sure which. Yeah, no, I would absolutely love to see a lot of... I would love to see Konami bring back a lot of their stuff, and... Like, they don't necessarily have to remake Castlevania 1, because honestly, Castlevania 4 was a remake of Castlevania 1, and they've remade that game so many times that they don't really need to. I'm still waiting for the Tale of 1999. I want that to be a Castlevania game. I think you'd be playing as Julius from Dawn and Aria of Sorrow. But like, man, I would love that. That'd be great. But here's where I was like, oh, they're not doing that depowering thing anymore, so I can just breeze through this thing now. They could have. They could have kept with the depowering system. That would have been cool. That way, like, no matter what, you're playing through the stages, like, however, like, basically from scratch every time. But, like, it's set up so that every stage is designed for you to be at max power by the end of the stage. And if you want to try to beat the boss with no power-ups, that's fine, you can do that. But if you want to beat the boss with power-ups, you have to start the whole level over again by getting a game over. And here's this boss, which basically kind of just gives me vibes of the first boss from Gradius 3. And the second boss of Gradius 4, apparently. If I had Ripple here, if Ripple was a choice of this, like, I feel like Ripple would just hit the edges of that thing and would never get inside the thing to actually hit the core. But of course the thing with Gradius bosses is you can just outweight them and they'll explode eventually. Even the Game Boy Advance game has that, because I watched my son do that today. We were playing the Game Boy Advance game a bit, and he got to a point where he just, he took the controller from me when I was fighting the third stage boss, and he found, like, he doesn't know how to move and, like, shoot at the same time. He's still learning. I would try to teach him on games that would actually, because I watched Matt Pat's video about how to, like, teach somebody how to play games. I would give him games like that, but I don't really have any games like that on hand. So, kind of a problem. Oh yeah, this is the beginning of the stage. This stage has no checkpoints. Except for maybe at the very, very end. Just calling that out right now. For reasons we'll see soon. Otherwise this video would be a lot shorter. The reasons is this guy right here. So I try to destroy him. Mess up, don't destroy him. And now we're stuck here with no power-ups. And this is why I was like, oh, this is the beginning of the stage. Okay. Like, the only thing that's different is you don't get ambushed by those guys. That's it. But you have to deal with this, which is super rude. Because those bullets will just sometimes hit you. So now I get to watch me work my way up from no power-ups to all power-ups. If people want to watch me stream one or two of these games, let me know. Because, I mean, this is technically kind of interesting and a series that I kind of like a lot. Again, I would prefer to... Look at that lucky bullet. But yeah, I'm gonna personally go through all these games. So I like to go through all these games. One of my goals has always been to try to clear like every game. So sometimes I don't know if I'll do that because there's a lot of like one-off games that I don't know if I'll ever get around to. There's a lot of niche games in certain series that I don't know if I'll ever get around to, or it's impossible for me to get to because of either language barrier or which I mean that could be like fixed a couple different ways, but either language barrier or what is the other reason? Kind of another reason or just on niche systems that, wow, that bullet just barely hit the top of my ship. I see it now. When I played it before, I thought I moved past that spot. I was trying to fly through it because I thought I could, and I could, honestly, but it just barely hit the top of my ship. Ugh. That one lucky shot again got me. Remember my good score. Oh yeah, the ripple is in this one. Yeah, I wouldn't want to use that because I feel like it would get hit, it would get stuck in everything. Anyway. So, long story short, basically, I forgot what I was talking about. This is me trying to see if these guys back here had power-ups. Because again, anybody could have power-ups. This guy down here does, but this guy up here doesn't. And that's always true. Same with this guy up here does, but this guy down here doesn't. So, either of these two guys could have power-up. If I get like 2 more power-ups, I could get another missile to shoot upward to get those guys. See if they have any power-ups. Anyway, so now I'm just getting the missiles because I know I want to need them for later. And there's just me getting blindsided by a laser. Mistiming it. And here's where I realize I don't have to show off all the things. That was me just making sure that if the game does have a limited continue set, then I'll save there with while still having a few continues left. Anyway. Also the thing is right now, because of the way my thing's set up, I don't have a speed up right now, which is always the worst feeling. Because you physically can't dodge much. The worst. Like this game, I think is a little nicer about like speed ups in comparison. Like your default speed's not terrible because you have to survive the beginning of the game without a power up. So your default speed doesn't suck, and you have to survive like another spot later in the game without it. So, and make sure that your speed doesn't completely suck to begin with. Anyway, let's see. Finally got back to this part again to see what I messed up here. And then we get these Gradius platformers. These things look like they came straight out of Gradius. Like, these things are all over Gradius. Alright. We got this boss now. I didn't understand this boss when I first saw it. Laser! Death. Boom. That's the boss. Death lasers. And then that guy caught me off guard. And yeah. Anyway. Yeah, no. And that sucks. I didn't even get to get missiles or anything. You know, I was one power up away from... I thought maybe I could shoot up here. And then I just got into a really bad pattern with like the bouncy energy balls. And now we're back here again. Hooray! Like I said, I don't mind this because it gives you a chance to get more power-ups and you're not stuck with no power-ups. I prefer this than just continuously bashing my head against the wall of a boss with no power-ups. At least there might be a chance that you grab some power-ups and you get a chance. But you also get a couple lives to do that, like do certain things as well. Like maybe there could be a thing where like going back to the shopping idea. Maybe there'd be a thing where your weapons get damaged and you have to like repair them every so often. That could be a thing too, but I don't know. Because again, you have to like do the shopping off level. So it'd have to be a situation where the game would have to be set up around probably like a multi-mission structure. With big missions. Kind of like what, that was just bad. Actual, that Super Mario Galaxy fan game is actually. But again, that's a reminder though, is that game is just like the baseline for what like a good, this is me seeing what all enemies can drop extra power-ups. Now I have double missile for this part, which I usually did anyway. But I also have a speed up, which is the more important thing. I have double missiles and a speed up. At the same time, usually I'd have one or the other. If I get one more power up, I'll have laser. But yeah, no. With that game, there was a bunch of small missions and stuff like that to get the money. There's a way that they could probably do something. It's complicated with a game like this because you need the power. You probably need the power-ups early on enough to actually do something, or you just have to make your ships, or you just have to make the ship speed either a non-factor. I think that's like the biggest issue in this thing, is making sure that you have enough ship speed to actually be able to handle this. Here we go. Possible best run. Messed it up. Yeah, I didn't even get the second guy to drop his power up. And I just like, okay, fine, I'll take 2 speed ups then. Fine, see if I care. I care immensely. me learning how to actually dodge the enemy projectile now. Having 2 speed ups is almost ideal for this fight. If you can move. Trying to dodge up there does not work. Now I have to do the whole level again. Yep, this is annoying, but it's fine. It's what this game is. That's the thing, it's like... There's probably a way to make a cool, like, game that could work in, like, a modern setting. With this kind of thing. Well, also, now I get an extra one. Weird. Now I have laser before this one point. Aha, laser. Yeah. To be fair, maybe the first level could just give you a couple free weapons, like free low-class weapons, like floating satellites and stuff like that. Give you something. Or technically, you really don't need the options right away, in a silly sense. Alright, now I got a shield. This guy's going down this time. Let's go. Boss time. I got a shield. I know how to dodge him better. Let's go. Dead. No power-ups. I was just like, what? How did... what? I destroyed them all. I only got 1 power-up for that whole thing. But I got 2 power-ups. I got the missiles for some reason. I need like no speed up, so I have like no speed to fight this guy. But I am trying to throw missiles in there. Let me try to throw missiles into the enemy's thing. Darn it. Again, no power-ups. Very rude. 1 speed up. Let's try this again. We don't need no stinking power-ups. 1 speed up will defeat this boss. Never underestimate the tiny laser. They're having like maybe like a upgraded, like a slight upgrade cannon. Yeah, see, never underestimate the power of the tiny laser and being up close and mashing. Actually, I already think I was mashing in this one. This part's kind of scary. There's more that game's like environmental storytelling. We just destroyed this base. And literally it's like crumbling and falling apart. And now we're back out in space somehow. I actually do bring up the somehow because I don't know. Alright. There I go with this guy. And we're hitting him too. He's taking damage. He's being serious. He's got all these projectiles. got serious music. I messed him up. Now he's shooting out these giant lasers. He's got the boss music going. He's ready to go. He's going. He's like kind of threatening, but like I think he might be one of the more threatening final bosses of a Gradius game that I fought. And we got him. Oh, I don't know who that was. Just imagine a Gradius game that went over through all the Gradius timelines in this mission setup I thought of, and then like, yeah, ending with like going after the main villain. It'd be kind of cool. And then having like the upgrades where you buy at the shop and all that stuff, and then being able to choose what like weapons that you want equipped on you at any time. And like other power-ups like maybe reduce or the front shields, the rear shields, force field, which could be like not as strong as the shields. Could be like 3, the shields could be like 5 maybe, or 4 for a certain shield, but they don't fully protect you. Like if you get hit in the back, you get that. You could have like the tiny form where your ship becomes smaller, but actually has no shield, but that is a shield, that is like the shield slot, so you can like fill up every slot still. The end. Yep, that's the end of the game. Super short, but I think it's actually like really good because of like that. Oh, now we gotta reselect our stuff. Back to the beginning of the game. Oh no! I don't know what we're gonna do. And that's how an alternate timeline ends.